Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you've enjoyed your lunch. It was a very nice lunch that the hotel put on. And it's my pleasure now, on behalf of Chair Ron, to introduce our next guest speaker. Many of you will already know Bernard Lord. But let me just give you a little bit of background to his illustrious career so far. Mr. Lord is currently the president and CEO of Canadian Wireless Telecommunications, the association of it, and they're headquartered in Ottawa. In talking to him, I think he spends a lot of his time on the road. He's in Ottawa at least 3 days a week, I think, with his current job. But as I said, as I listened to him, actually, I was seeing in my mind's eye more of a rock star who is on the road so much he may not want to know where he is in any particular day. Tomorrow, he's in Montreal. He's been to London recently. He's all over the world. So we're absolutely thrilled that you could find some time to come to Kingston to talk to us today. We're really pleased with it. As all of you will know, he's well known as the former premier of the province of New Brunswick, where he was elected in 1999 at the tender age of 33 and became Canada's youngest, or one of the youngest premiers. Were you ever the youngest premier? I was the youngest at that time. Very good. He won a second majority in 2003 and again served as premier until October of 2006. To his credit, he was elected 4 times as the member of the New Brunswick legislature for the district of Moncton East, which I think is where your family home is currently. In November 2003, the Government of Canada, the Government of New Brunswick, and Alliant together announced a public-private partnership agreement for broadband access to connect 90% of New Brunswickers, and I know he's going to speak a little bit about that. So we are very fortunate to have someone who knows firsthand the experience and the challenges of broadband outside of major cities. When he talked in a lot of ways, rural New Brunswick is probably a lot like rural Eastern Ontario, so a lot of similarities. And we hope that he's going to share with us some of the things that you learned in that experience in New Brunswick. Mr. Lord holds a bachelor's degree in social science with a major in economics, as well as a bachelor's degree in common law from the Université de Moncton. My French isn't so good, as you can tell. At least I didn't say deux or deux oeufs or something like that. I was told yesterday that most of the times when I order 2 eggs in French in Quebec, I'm actually ordering 2 eyes. Thank you, Steph, for that clarification. He also holds an honorary doctorate degrees from 3 universities. Mr. Lord was chosen as one of Time Magazine's top 25 new generation leaders in Canada, as well as being recognized by the International Association of Francophone Parliamentarians in 2007. He was awarded the Order of New Brunswick. After a distinguished period of public service, which we're all very lucky that you decided to do that, Mr. Lord has served as a special advisor on official languages to the Government of Canada. In October 2008, he was named, as I said, the president and CEO of the Canadian Wireless Telecommunications Association, the industry group for the wireless sector. It's a $12 billion a year business and employs more than 25,000 Canadians. I think that association is very fortunate to have someone as distinguished as Mr. Lord as its president, and we're, as I say, very fortunate to have him with us today. And ladies and gentlemen, Bernard Lord.
Thank you very much, Jim. Your very kind and generous introduction. I appreciate it. Now, thinking of me as a rock star, I'll have to show you my tattoos. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone's in a good mood. Tout le monde, ça va bien? Yes? Good. You had a good lunch? Great. I want to thank you, first of all, I want to thank the Eastern Ontario Warden Caucus for the invitation to join you for your digital summit. I have to tell you, I'm very happy to be here. This is something that's always been close to my heart. My message today, and I want this to be a conversation. I'll speak for about 20, 25 minutes, and then I'll answer some questions. But it's one of message of change, of leadership, and of hope. I was asked to share with you my experience as former Premier of New Brunswick and to present to you some of my thoughts and perspectives for the future as the President and CEO of the Canadian Wireless Telecommunication Association. I accepted the invitation simply because I share some of your objectives and goals and because I believe that we can be partners in succeeding in achieving these goals. Every successful organization that I know has a clear vision, a clear mission statement, and some specific objectives. Now, I took the time to look for your mission statement. It stated very clearly, to monitor federal, provincial, and municipal legislative, regulatory, and government information, to conduct research and analysis for the purpose of influencing and advocating enhanced municipal services delivery in Eastern Ontario. Your vision states, to work collectively to enhance recognition for municipalities as an order of government through meaningful communication and representation with the federal and provincial governments and each other. And as strategic goals and objectives, you set one that I believe is very important, developing a network that will help bring modern, high-speed internet services to at least 95% of the people in businesses across Eastern Ontario. A modern, high-capacity network that would allow residents, educators, health professionals, and businesses to make use of the most up-to-date applications, including large digital file transfers, video conferencing, interactive web page promotions, distance learning, and popular video file sharing applications. This is your goal. I share that goal. And I believe that this is a goal that can be met and should be met, and I believe that you are on the right track. And I think of all the work that you have to do on a day-to-day basis. Believe me, I know what it is to run a government. It's never easy, and there's always a million issues to deal with every single day. And lots of people calling you and wanting your time and attention on something that is immediate. But I always found that to be successful, it's important to take time to plan for the future, to do things that will have a lasting impact beyond just dealing with the immediate issues. And that's exactly what you are doing with this conference today. That's exactly what you're doing with the objectives that you have set. And I want to commend you and congratulate you for setting these objectives and taking the initiative to organize this digital summit. Based on my own experience, I can assure you that these types of events, these types of initiatives are important and can lead to very positive success and results. At the Canadian Wireless Telecommunication Association, we also believe in building for the future. We are the authority on mobile wireless telecommunications in Canada. We represent the carriers, manufacturers, developers, innovators of wireless telecommunication services in our country. We are a future-focused organization with the clear goal of working with our partners to ensure that Canada continues to be a leader in wireless telecommunication and that all Canadians in all provinces and territories benefit from these transforming technologies. You know, we were just talking at lunch about something that's also very important to me, is the fact that we live in a great country. And sometimes we take that for granted. We live in a peaceful, prosperous country. It's once been said that living in Canada is like winning the geography lottery. You win just by being here. You win in terms of freedom, in terms of opportunities, in terms of what you can do for yourself, your community, your family, and your country. And when we think of Canada, sometimes we wonder, how do we define ourselves? I don't think that we should define ourselves, and I don't believe that Canada is simply defined by borders on a map or lines on a map. But we are defined by the values that we share, the principles that we promote, and the ideals that we pursue. Values like tolerance, family, and community. Principles like democracy, fairness, responsibility, and ideals like freedom, peace, and prosperity. That's really what makes us Canadian, regardless of whether we live in Eastern Ontario, in New Brunswick, or Nunavut. That's what makes us who we are. And also, this is combined with our strong desire to build a stronger future for our children. There is no doubt, you look around the world, you look in our own communities presently, most of us feel that that future is threatened. And we feel that it may not be as good as once we had hoped because of the current economic woes that we're going through. Obviously, we are living through a significant economic downturn. However, compared to most other countries in the world, Canada is weathering the storm better than most, if not all. And there's still some very positive elements to build on. Our education levels in Canada continue to increase. They're at record levels. Our life expectancy. You know, I was hearing some people today, you had some sessions talking about healthcare, how healthcare costs are going up. That's not about to change. But the good thing is we're living longer than ever before. And that is, to me, I think that's a positive sign of our success as a society, is the fact that we are living longer. We also are blessed with tremendous natural resources and a culture and a history of perseverance and determination and innovation. We face some real challenges, there are no doubt. We face economic challenges, social challenges, demographic challenges, globalization, competition from other countries in a way that perhaps we didn't face before. But it's clear that our 20th century economy is changing and it's evolving, and that the new economic order that will emerge from this global crisis probably will not be what it was like before. Even though times are tough, this is the time to adapt. This is the time to change. This is the time to make sure we make the decisions to plan for the future. And what you are doing here today is exactly that for your communities. And that's why I feel that these types of events are so important. And when I think of situations like this and the situation that we're facing globally or locally, I'm reminded of a story that one of my friends used to say, and he used to talk about the relationship between Wayne Gretzky and Charles Darwin. You may wonder, what's the link? Did Charles Darwin play left wing for Wayne Gretzky? Is that what it is? You know, Wayne Gretzky, as you know, is often considered as one of the best hockey players to ever live. And when he was asked what made him such a successful and great hockey player, it was clear that he said it's not because he was the biggest or the strongest or the fastest, but he learned at a very young age what his father taught him, which was skate where the puck is going to be. Don't skate to where the puck is. So what does that have to do with Charles Darwin? Well, just last month was the 200th anniversary of Charles Darwin. And very few people in our history has transformed the perceptions of life and evolution the way that this man had. And what did he teach us? He taught us that through the theory of evolution and biology, the species that strive and survive are not the biggest, are not necessarily the strongest or the fastest, but they are the species that adapt and change and evolve. So what does that mean in the 21st century for communities like yours, for provinces like New Brunswick, for a country like Canada? It means that we need to evolve. It means we need to adapt. We need to skate to where the puck is going to be. So what will the economy of the future look like? Well, I believe that we will end up in a renewed economy where creativity, knowledge, innovation, competitiveness will be more important than ever before. We simply will not be able to rely just on our natural resources like we have before. It will be a world where you can access the whole world at your fingertip, wherever you are, and it will work at light speed. I believe that's where we're heading. And if that's where we're heading, let's make sure we make the decisions to get there as quickly as possible. When I was privileged to serve the people of New Brunswick as Premier, I had a basic philosophy. I believed in balance. I believe that the role of governments is to achieve certain balance between economic success, social progress, and having governments that live within their means. To me, that meant making sure that we would help our youth, support our seniors, and create the economic environment to generate and create prosperity. We had some real good success in New Brunswick. We had the years that I was there, we had the lowest unemployment in 30 years. We reduced taxes every year while balancing the books every year.